And you know what time it is? It's time for KP's Video News. KP's Video News, y'all. KP's Video News, y'all. KP's Video News, y'all. Right.
That's right, it's KP's Video News, y'all. And I'm here and I'm back today with some good stories here. Some stories, man. I'll be catching them, boy. Catching them out there doing that dirt. Yep, they're out there doing that dirt, man. You gotta really be careful. Really be careful out here today. And so, you know, this is a, I'm gonna do this follow-up first. It's a follow-up on a story I did the other day about there was a white cop, man, that was holding this teenage girl down, and the girl was hollering, and you know she couldn't breathe, and so eventually what happened was the mother and the daughter were arrested. The daughter had to go to the hospital, and you know, this thing went viral, man. I mean, it went viral quick. You know, just the images of this cop laying on this girl, man, all this time, and the whole time the girl was, you know, going through what she was really having was some kind of mental situation. And they, you know, you don't really need the cops coming out when somebody's having a mental issue. You need social workers and counselors, you know, people Department of Social Services, man. You need those kind of people out there. You don't need the cops responding to these kind of things, and it always ends bad every time, you know. So anyway, last week that this viral video went out of the 18-year-old Nakia Trigg desperately pleading for a white officer to get off her body because she couldn't breathe. Trigg and her mother, Antonique, were arrested, and the family is fighting for justice after they claimed the teen and her mother were brutally accosted and assaulted by a white rookie from Kaufman County, Texas sheriff's deputy. And the report states that the teenage girl and her family have picked up their belongings and left their home amid death threats. So they've been getting death threats now. So this is my follow-up. Trigg, who was the teen that was in trouble in the viral video, along with her mother, Ray, and several other family members, have reportedly left their home in Forney, Texas, because they fear residents in the area, including law enforcement, are out to do them harm. Cole also states that the girl and her family have been receiving death threats via social media, including direct messages telling them that they got what they deserved during the scuffle with the police officer. In anticipation of more death threats against the family, Cole has advised them to stay off social media while the situation plays itself out. And the attorney Cole also said that she plans to file civil rights lawsuits for a client against Kaufman County and the police officer involved, Deputy Connor Martin, who was seen straddling Trigg and holding her arms down above her head as she screamed, saying she couldn't breathe. So they were both arrested in jail and reportedly called the police on Trigg for walking and jumping through traffic in Forney neighborhood. On the 7-minute video that is making its round on social media, the mother can be seen approaching the sheriff's deputy, whose name is Connor Martin, as he bears his body weight down on Trigg, who's lying on the grass on her back, and taking the brunt of the man's weight on her stomach and chest area. So, you know, this is a crazy situation, man. You know, it's a crazy situation, and you know, this whole thing, man, is it's just sickening to me. You know, it's like, you know, like I said earlier, you know, stop calling the cops. If you're out there and you're within ear distance of what I'm saying, you got a problem, you got a family member that's, you know, acting a little irrational, don't call the cops. Call the fire department. Call anybody. Call Roto-Rooter. Don't call the cops, man. Don't call the cops. Because, if it starts off bad, it ends bad. So on with the next story. Copwatch, Copwatch. South Carolina officer fired and arrested after stomping on a 58-year-old man's head for moving too slow. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Can't make it up. Orangeburg Department of Public Safety officer David Lance Dukes, 38 years old, was arrested on July 31st on a first-degree assault and battery charges stemming from the July 26th attack. Dukes has not yet entered pleas to the charges and has been released on bail. This is a difficult situation, an unfortunate situation, and the warrant states that Dukes and another officer responded to a report of a person with a gun on Collins Street in Orangeburg. Upon arrival, Dukes, with his gun drawn, allegedly approached Clarence Galliard, who was unarmed and walking with a stick. Galliard was ordered to the ground, according to his attorney. However, because of a previous injury, which left Galliard with rods and pins in his legs, he moved slowly. The attack happened when Galliard was unable to comply immediately while he was on his hands and knees. Duke raised his right leg and forcibly stomped with his boot on the victim's neck or head area, the warrant reads. The force from the stomp pushed Galliard to the concrete. Galliard bruised his forehead and was taken to the hospital by paramedics, the arrest warrant explains. And a second officer on the scene worked quickly to de-escalate the situation. When later, when the command staff arrived on the scene, she contradicted Duke's account of what happened and provided her body camera footage as proof. Duke's termination was announced on Friday. Copwatch, Copwatch, Copwatch. Moving on to Florida. Similar situation, but this time it was a whole mob of cops caught on video stomping a handcuffed subject before beating the man that was filming the situation. So the shocking video caught a mob of Florida cops repeatedly kicking a handcuffed man in the head and then tackling and assaulting another who was filming the situation. Surveillance footage from the Miami Beach late last month showed a lone officer initially stopping Delonte Crudup, 24, at gunpoint in a hotel elevator, and he allegedly struck a bicycle cop with a scooter, allegedly. After Crudup surrendered on the ground with his hands behind his back, a steady stream of 20 other officers stormed in and piled on him, prosecutors stated, while announcing battery charges against 5 of the cops. So the 5 of these cops got battery charges charged on them. Officers then repeatedly kicked Crudup while another picked him up and slammed him on his head on the ground. So the Miami-Dade State Attorney, Captain Fernandez, stated that the cop actually did this. Some of the mob then turned on Khalid Vaughn, 28, who was filming the arrest on his cell phone about 12 feet away. Rundle said while releasing 4 minutes of surveillance of the body cam footage. Vaughn, wearing shorts and a t-shirt and carrying a plastic shopping bag, initially as he backed away on the officer's orders, just for one to run in and tackle him against a concrete pillar. That's what the prosecutors are stating. Body camera footage showed officers punching Vaughn after he was tackled to the ground, the state attorney said, while slowing down key sections of the hits. We are all horrified by it, Fernandez Rundle stated. And when we see this, it's alarming, it's disturbing. Nobody wants this to happen, including police departments themselves. Miami Beach Police Chief Richard Clements had contacted the state's attorney office after a senior officer alerted him to the footage. And 5 officers who were charged with first-degree misdemeanor battery had previously been suspended. They all turned themselves in on Monday and may face further charges. And Sergeant Jose Perez was filmed kicking Crudup 3 times, while Officer Kevin Perez kicked him at least 4 times. Wow. So that's 7 times the guy got kicked. Then Officer Sabater was identified as the man who then tackled Vaughn, while Officers Rivas and Serrano were accused of being the ones who beat him. All 5 are being represented by lawyers from the Fraternal Order of Police. Crudup was charged with several counts, including aggravated battery on a law enforcement officer. The cop he allegedly struck while was hospitalized in his own crutches. Crudup previously said he was left with a black eye, bruised ribs, blood on his chin after the violent arrest. I got beat up, I got stitches, went to the hospital, insisting he only fled officers because he was scared they were trying to put a black man in jail for no reason. He didn't do anything wrong. Charges against Vaughn of resisting arrest with violence and impeding a police investigation were dropped after the video was released. And we felt Vaughn was doing what was within his rights. So after they beat up the guy that was filming this situation, they arrested him, but since then they have dropped the charges. Man, I'm telling you, man, you gotta watch them. Copwatch. Okay, on with the next story here. The state of Wisconsin, y'all. Last month I was talking about the state of Georgia that removed about 170,000 people from the voter rolls. Now this is the state of Wisconsin that has just removed over 200,000 people from the voter rolls because they have not passed ballots in recent years. Now, this is mighty fishy and mighty suspicious here. Madison election officials removed more than 200,000 Wisconsin voters from the rolls in recent weeks, and in most cases because they had not cast ballots in the last 4 years. State law requires Wisconsin election commissions to remove voters from the rolls if they have not voted in the last 4 years and do not respond to a mailing asking them if they want to keep their voters' rights registration active. That resulted in about 174,000 people being taken off the voters list, according to an announcement the commission made on Wednesday. Separately, the commission deactivated registrations of about 32,000 people who have not confirmed their addresses since 2019. Those voters have not voted in the last 2 years. All in all, 206,000 voters were removed from the rolls. Those who have been removed from the rolls can re-register online, by mail, in the clerk's offices, or at the polls. They will need to have proof of residence to restore their voter registration. And removing people from the voting rolls because they have not voted has generated a few fights, but taking the voters off the rolls because they are believed to have moved has proved to be controversial in recent years. So they trying anything they can, man, to deny you the right to vote. I'm telling you, cats got to get out there. You got to get out there and you got to do whatever it is you got to do, man, to stay on top of this thing. Stay on top of it. And so this one here was actually a video, but it's a small story that goes along with it. And it was a black customer, you know, that had a confrontation with a Karen over at a Ross store in Mississippi. And the videotape of the confrontation posted on social media showed the black lady coming to the defense of an employee who was threatened by the Karen. The incident began when an employee named Alicia was in an aisle doing markdowns, doing her job, when the Karen entered the aisle complaining that Alicia was in her way. Another customer began recording the confrontation. And that's when the sister stepped in and confronted Karen. The Ross employee Alicia posted on Twitter that she was the employee that was being defended. And the indignant white woman can be heard playing the victim and ordering another black employee to call security after the other black woman came to defend the girl. And she began, to walk away from the Karen until she said that she was going to call the cops. So the sister came back and said, "I'll give you a reason to call the cops, bitch." Black Queen then uttered what we all feel at the end of the video as she walked away arm in arm with another black person. You know what? Screw you, you racist. This crap is gonna stop. This crap is gonna stop. Sick of you. Fucking just sick of y'all. Always coming up, starting mess, and then when somebody try to confront you over your madness, then you want to try to play the victim. This is the very beginning of the argument, so it's like, hey, she speaks up for a whole lot of people that feel the same way. A lot of people are fed up with this madness. A lot of people are actually fed up with this. Yeah, you just gonna, the lady on there trying to do her job, and you decide you just want to try to, use your so-called privilege to try to force somebody to move out my way. I'm trying to shop. Lady's doing her job. You in her way. She's doing her job. It's her job to stand there and do what she's doing. Okay, here's my feel-good story of the day. Move over, Oprah. That Rihanna has put in the work, and she's got plenty of money. So she's officially a billionaire. Rihanna, officially a billionaire. According to Forbes, the singer is now worth a whopping $1.7 billion, making her the richest female musician in the world. Wonder how Beyonce feels about that. But most of it's not a result of her music. Instead, Rihanna's 2017 launch of Fenty Beauty, and her real name is Robin Fenty, with the mission of being more inclusive of all women, has been a huge success and has grown into a cosmetics empire. Forbes says the bulk of her fortune, an estimated $1.4 billion, comes from Fenty, of which she owns 50%. The rest is linked to a spin-off lingerie company, Savage Fenty, and the remaining millions come from her music career. Of course, Rihanna's beauty brand aspect makes you think of the other people, Kylie Jenner, who reached a billionaire status thanks to her cosmetic and fashion lines, although Kylie's story came with a little more controversy. Either way, Rihanna blew past everybody. Look out, Oprah. She's next in line, second richest black woman in America, behind Oprah Winfrey. Wow. No, Beyonce ain't feeling that. Look out, Jay-Z. You're going to be sleeping on the couch tonight if you don't make Beyonce a billionaire, boy. Look out. I know you a billionaire, but Beyonce is worth about maybe 400 million. She got another 600 million to go before she becomes a billionaire. All right, folks. KP's Video News, y'all.
And you know what time it is?